Good day, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss to you the jurisdiction of courts. We all know that we have three types of the jurisdiction of courts. We have regular courts, special courts, quasi-courts or quasi-judicial agencies. So last time, I know that we have discussed about the regular courts. Well, by the way, I am Chester S. Ingilio to present to you the continuation of our report this time. We all know about the regular courts. So this time around, I'm going to serve you another type of court that will really tickles your interest. So this is the special courts. So what is special courts? So special courts is a body within the judicial branch of government that generally addresses only one area of law or have specially defined powers. So in other words, these are courts that has a specific function within its range and it only covers certain types of cases depending on its specialization. So pwede siya into focusing on a criminal case or pwede din siya siguro in a civil case, administrative case, or pwede din in some point into a religious case. So special court is meron lamang siyang specific focus na tinitingnan. Types of special courts in the Philippines. We have number 1, Court of Tax Appeals. Number 2, we have Sandigan Bayan. And number 3, Sharia courts. So in other words, we only have 3 types of special courts in the Philippines. And it only focuses on a particular field. In our countries like America, they do have a lot of special courts. The reason behind is that there are many numbers, and in some ways the government need a lot of special courts in order to address a quick and provide them with so many opportunities to drag the case para mas mapadali siya. So siguro somehow we could think about that ito siguro yung reason bakit in other countries like US medyo mabilis yung process of justice system. Unlike dito sa amin, because of the special courts na tinatawag natin. So yun. But then again, sa atin kasi dito, here in the Philippines, maliit lang ang Pilipinas, and in many ways, sana, malay natin, in the near future, we could have a lot of opportunities. We could have or we could transform the justice system here sa Pilipinas. The first court is the Court of Tax Appeals. What is Court of Tax Appeals? So it is both has original jurisdiction and it is an appellate court for matters related to taxes. The court is led by a presiding justice and as 8 associate justice. It is an appellate court equal to the Court of Appeals. So, kung titingnan, we all know that the Court of Appeals is next to the Supreme Court. In some ways, it can refer some cases to the Supreme Court if the decision is questionable or shall we say unconstitutional. Sa Court of Tax Appeals, dito nililitis yung mga administrative cases that involves unconstitutional use of taxes and of course unlawful act that would really affect the power of taxation. So first things first pala na dapat nating malaman dito is, additional lang ha, is the 3 type of cases na pinafile usually. So we have 3 major lamang actually. We have the criminal cases, or it can be a civil case or administrative case. So criminal cases, we all know that it involves beyond reasonable doubt. It involves cases that could really harm certain type of person. Usually yung mga sanctions dito are imprisonment talaga. The next one here is the civil case. So sa civil cases, it involves 2 parties, that usually the people and then the organization. Usually yung mga sanctions dito actually is the mga cases dito na involve is negligence, result to damage and injury, mga ganon. The next one here is the administrative cases. So usually, ito yung mga cases that involves suspension and dismissal. Okay, mga ganun uri siya. Yung mga naging sanctions niya. So the next one is the Sandigan Bayan. It is a type of court set up to deal with an instance of corruption involving a government official or an official in government-owned body. It also has jurisdiction over crimes committed by public officials. The court is led by one presiding justice and with the 14 associate justices. So in other words, it has an exclusive jurisdiction over powers. It has a distinctive power to dismiss or suspend any public officials who have committed or undoings unlawfully. So in other words, except na siguro sa executive leader natin, which is our president. But other than that, so any public officials who have committed unlawfully, so they will be subject, responsible sila to face the Sandigan Bayan if, for instance, nakagawa sila ng mali. So here in Sandigan Bayan, it involves actually dito yung mga sikat actually na mga highest person in rank natin, like mga ombudsman natin here. Okay, ombudsman. We have also yung mga solicitor generals who are responsible in checking all of the things that are happening in a certain cabinet or a certain agency. So if for instance, na merong administrative cases na nangyari doon, so Sandigan Bayan, o dito sila haharap, and Sandigan Bayan will go to settle and give them the rightful things to face, to have justice. The last topic that we're going to discuss under special court is Sharia court in the Philippines. Sharia district courts, or SHDC, which rules on Sharia law, have limited jurisdiction over cases relating to Muslims. They also have limited territorial jurisdiction, which is determined by the Supreme Court. They are present only in 5 judicial regions, all areas of southwest Mindanao. They are equivalent to regional trial court and were established under the Code of Muslim Personal Laws of the Philippines, Presidential Decree number 1083, to handle personal relations between Muslims. So in other words, Sharia court is a certain court that involves theological basis. Under Sharia law, it always follows values and teachings of Quran. It doesn't really involve other cases because it only focuses on matters about being a Muslim individual. Usually deals with siguro cases involving ceremonies, weddings of Muslims, or might be territorial disputes between Muslims and Christians. So under the Sharia courts, they have a specific type of court actually that it is, because diba, we all know that the BARM actually is one of the regions that we have right now. So Sharia court is very timely and relevant with this BARM because it really suits to the objectives and goals of this BARM. So yun lamang for this special courts. Next type of court is what we call the quasi-judicial agencies or quasi-judicial courts. So these quasi-judicial agencies actually are very special type of court because it can adjudicate on matters of law but only through existing legal basis. They have no actual judicial powers. So it means to say that under the agencies that they have specific rules and regulations that should be followed based on their constitution and bylaws within their domain. So we do have a lot of agencies here in the Philippines, and each one of them has a specific regulation that should be followed by the person or the persons behind these agencies. So for example, halimbawa dito is sa PRC. So PRC, they can suspend a certain type of individual under the PRC. So they can suspend your license if they want. They can suspend you to take a board exam if they want, depending if you have committed a certain type of violation. So pwede yun siya. In the Philippines, we do have a lot of agency. So here are the list of examples. So actually, we do have a lot. So we have Agricultural Inventions Board, Board of Investment, Civil Aeronautics Board. So marami pa. Okay, we do have a lot of agencies, okay, insurance commissions, and these agencies are very responsible, and each one of them has a specific type of power within their domain. So yun lamang for quasi-judicial court.